Communication, the key to all relationships. We're going to talk about ways to effectively communicate so that you can hear what the other person is really saying and how you can better be heard in a way that allows for connection instead of disconnection and further drama. Hi everybody, welcome back. It's cold and rainy here in LA today, so I'm wearing my sweater. Django is wearing his sweater. We are cozy. I'm out of coffee, so we have chai talk. Today we're going to talk about communication, which is something I think is one of the most important things in the world since we have to live with each other. And there's so many different kinds of people, different places we're coming from, different histories, backgrounds, ideas, and I feel very, very strongly that we all really could benefit from learning how to effectively communicate. It's a really difficult thing to do. I wish they taught it in schools. It would be a great gift for people to be learning from the beginning, how to talk, how to hear one another without getting triggered and defensive. It's not taught, so it's something we have to teach ourselves. So today we're going to talk about communication and some tools that I recommend that I've learned about along the ways that I think really help people get to the heart of what they're trying to say to one another. The first thing I want to talk about is our thoughts, because whether or not we are thinking something that is true, the tendency is to go straight from the thought to the emotion to the reaction. This is sort of the unconscious way that we all process things. And I've said in other videos, and I'll always go back to the great line that I heard once, don't believe everything you think. Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. So I think in having good communication, a really important thing to be able to do is to learn to respond instead of just react. Because if we take a moment and get a little bit more information, we might find that what we think is happening isn't necessarily what's happening. So one of the things that I like to do is look at whatever has triggered me and ask more questions. Asking questions is such a sweet and kind of non-threatening way to get more information so that you can make a better educated decision about what's happening. So let me give you a great example. Let's say that you're talking to someone and while you're talking they make a scrunched up face and you think, oh, what I said they just think is stupid. But if you ask the question, like, how did you feel about what I just said? They might say, I feel great. I have gas right now, so my stomach really hurts. But I'm with you. So you never know what somebody is actually thinking unless you ask them. So gathering more information is a really great way to go deeper into your communication. Making assumptions, as everyone knows, is dangerous. So another example I could give you of an assumption that went awry is I had a roommate and she had moved out and some of her stuff was still at the house. And at one point she called and texted and she had wanted to arrange to get her stuff. And there was something in the way that she was texting with me that made me think that she thought I was using her stuff or that I wasn't taking good care of it. There was something in the way she worded things that I started to take offense to. And I got pissed. I was actually like, this bitch needs to come get her stuff. But the next time I saw her, about a week and a half later, she came to get her stuff and she's sitting and she seems very happy. And I said, can I ask you a question? Were you at all concerned about your things being here or concerned about how I might be taking care of them? She goes, no, why? And I said, oh, okay, because when we were texting, I got the impression like maybe you were. And she goes, oh no, I was really sick that day. I'm sorry if I came off like that. So getting more information is always a good way to go. Also asking questions in general. The most important thing I think about communication is figuring out how to stay in your heart about it. And a lot of times when we think somebody's judging us or attacking us, we get right into our head, we get right into defense, and we jump out of our heart. And these are people we care about. Maybe we don't, but if we're communicating with someone we care about, then we really want to do our best to stay grounded in our hearts. There is something called nonviolent communication, which I am a huge fan of. A man named Marshall Rosenberg created it, and it's sort of a formula for effective communication. One of the things that Marshall says in his work is when a conversation bombs and just goes to shit, what it essentially is a tragic expression of an unmet need. And that's a really beautiful way to look at it. Somebody is not expressing in the best way they can what their need actually is. So the whole thing just goes to shit. So for nonviolent communication, it sort of breaks down into categories. This is really heady and I understand it, but I just want you to bear with me for a minute, because if you can practice this, it actually really, really helps with communication. So the first thing is to state the observation. And that's sort of stating the fact. Nobody can really argue that. It's like saying you just walked in the door. Okay. So you state the observation. And then you state your feeling about what you observed. And usually when you're talking about feelings, if you're really getting to the heart of it, it's like you're 5. I mean, down to the most basic levels. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel worried. So we have the observation, the feeling, and then the need. What is the need that you have? And then lastly, the request. So let me put all this together in a way that might make sense. Let's say your partner forgets your birthday and you're waiting all day for them to say something or do something special and they don't. And then you go to bed upset and you might feel like, oh, I don't have a right to be upset. This is stupid. Who cares? It's just a birthday, whatever. So you kind of stuff it, and then you're harboring resentment. You're treating them a little bit different. They can feel it and don't understand what's going on. Something as small and insignificant that is quite a word sometimes to say. As small and insignificant as that can become a big blowout later. So using this sort of formula, it would look something like this. Sitting down with this person that you love, being in your heart, not attacking, and saying, yesterday was my birthday, and I couldn't help but notice that you didn't acknowledge it at all. And then, so that's the observation, the feeling. I really felt sad about that. I really felt hurt. And that's all me taking responsibility for my own feelings, not you're an asshole, you did this, but this is how I felt about that fact. I really felt sad, I really felt hurt, and then what is the need? Because birthdays have always been really special to me. They've meant a lot to me since I was little, and I always loved having some sort of a celebration on my birthday. And then the request, and the request would be something like, in the future, I would really love it if we could do something special for my birthday. And it doesn't have to be with a lot of people, but could we treat each other's birthdays as something that we both look forward to and make special? So this is a very simple sort of example, but this formula works for much bigger and more complex subjects. So the thing about making a request, and this is the important piece to remember, is when you request something, that does not mean that the other person is obligated to meet that request. So you do have to be willing and able to hear no. But hey, if they say no, then you have the opportunity to figure out how to meet that need some other way. Because at the end of the day, we all have to take responsibility for ourselves and meeting our needs. No one else is responsible for that unless you're a little kid. So I hope that helps. I'm still practicing and learning too, and let me know how you do with that.